There is a convention for naming the waves in a QRS complex. Initial negative deflection is named as Q wave. Initial positive deflection is named as R wave. And a negative deflection coming after a positive deflection, that is the R wave, is known as S wave. So together it forms the QRS complex. When there are additional waves, they are named as R prime like this. This is an example of an RS R prime pattern, typically seen in V1 in case of right bundle branch block. The secondary R wave or R prime wave is due to delayed activation of right ventricular free wall in case of right bundle branch block. So this is an RSR prime pattern. Now what if there are more number of waves and lesser number of waves? If there is an additional S wave, it is known as S prime wave, so that it becomes RS R prime S prime complex. Then there is another convention. If the amplitude of the wave is more than 5 millimeter, it is designated with capital letter. If it is small amplitude, less than 5 millimeter, it may be designated with small letter, that is Q, small q, or S complex. Most of the usual QRS complexes will have small q and small s. But it varies with leads and from person to person and with different conditions. When there is left ventricular hypertrophy, left precordial leads will show tall R wave. When there is right ventricular hypertrophy, right precordial leads will show tall R waves. And correspondingly, S wave will become prominent in right precordial leads in case of left ventricular hypertrophy, and S wave in V6, if prominent, would indicate right ventricular hypertrophy. Then where there is no initial negative deflection, the initial Q is not there, then the first positive wave is known as R wave, and the next negative wave, even though this is the first negative wave, is not called Q wave, it is called S wave. The convention is any negative wave occurring after a positive wave is called S wave and not as Q wave. There is still another condition often seen in myocardial infarction, old myocardial infarction. There will be no R wave, there will be only a negative deflection, sole negative deflection. It can be called either a Q or most often as a QS complex, because it is a combination of a Q and S with no R wave. The R wave in this region has been knocked off by the myocardial infarction. That is why you presume that there is both Q and S together. R wave is not seen, so it is known as QS complex, typically seen in old myocardial infarction.